Good afternoon and welcome to Business Day Television Roundtable, where we discuss issues around our country, issues of international. Of course, we try and break them down the implication of such issues in our polity, in our economy. My name is Joshua Bassey, and as usual in the studio, I have with me two gentlemen who are going to discuss the issues that we have today together. Have the Deputy Editor of Business Day, Mr. Odinaka Anudu. Of course, joining us also is the usual Mr. Chuka Uroko is the Assistant Editor here in Business Day.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, gentlemen, welcome. Today we are going to look at two issues, two burning issues. You may call them that, of course. The first is the tweet by the United States President Donald Trump on Saturday. That was 1st of November. The United States President Donald Trump sent out a tweet, and that tweet has continued to generate reactions across not only Nigeria, in fact across the world. You know, because we've seen some other countries also reacting to. What did he say? Trump, said in his tweet that if the Nigerian government does not stop the killing of Christians, that the United States might be forced to withdraw aids to Nigeria and may even go further to come in gun a-blazing and to stop it by themselves. That since Saturday, there's been so many reactions from the Nigerian government, from individuals, from people across the world, and then saying, "Look, you can't do this. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. United States is a sovereign nation. You can't just threaten." But of course, we know Trump is not someone that probably really play strictly by international convention. So it's one person that is known to do what he just want to do. I mean, so some have said, "Look, this man is a bully." Okay, so we're going to discuss that, and of course, finally, we're just going to look at also very briefly the defection of the governor of Bayelsa State, Governor Diri, to the APC from the PDP, a situation that has left the PDP with just 8 governors as we speak. And of course, we are even hearing that some may still defect to the APC, and then you wonder where that leaves us as a country. I mean, as a democratic nation. But Odinaka, I'm going to start with you today. We just basically want to look at the implication of President Trump's, threats, as it were, to withdraw military aid and what have you from Nigeria, and probably send his troop, as it were, to maybe do this thing by themselves if the Nigerian government does not stop the killing of Christian, and alleged killing of Christian, because there have been argument as to whether it is only Christian that are being killed or that Muslims are also being killed. But the point truly remains that Nigerians are being killed, whether they are Muslim, whether they are Christian. That are these killings are going on, and in some cases you cannot really say that there's no targeted killing of maybe Christians in the north. But let me start with you. What are the things that Trump said that actually I felt like, come on, I mean, we are, no matter what, we are still a sovereign nation? Was the fact that where he said, referred to Nigeria as disgraced country. How did you receive that, Odinaka?
Well, I don't think that that's anything strange. When leaders fail to do their job, what do you expect? I mean, leaders are employed by the citizens to do their job, and when they don't do their job, they are that tell them that country is disgraceful. So,
are you citing Trump on this?
I'm coming.
Calling us the disgrace
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. When leaders don't do their job, for instance, how does it take a leader for a number of times, and I'm not talking about this current administration, it's referring to Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria, of course.
Nigeria Nigerian leaders have been acting disgracefully. For example, you have a Boko Haram war. Okay, let me give you an example. In 2015, from weeks before the election, the Odinaka said to give him 2 weeks. Military criminals, those terrorists, within 2 weeks, they got mercenaries and they put them out. They looted them out, sorry. So many people in the north tell you that there was substantial progress. But things that didn't happen happened over 2 weeks. After that, when he left, when he was there in 2015, those mercenaries left control. It worked for 2 weeks. When it returned the next administration, the man who said he was a soldier. Isn't that a disgraceful thing that hundreds of thousands of people have been killed in Nigeria and leaders, it was only issued press conferences from Abuja? So forget about those terms. We are the ones that, the ones describe Nigeria as Chito. What would we need to do dumb things as leaders? We don't expect the external forces to respect us. We don't expect the external forces. Before you mention disgraceful country, you can imagine a situation where.
Sorry, you also once referred to our late president as a lifeless.
No, I'm not talking about because man is no longer alive. I'm talking about what it describes Nigeria as, when it describes Nigeria as a disgraceful country. The point remains that we've been acting consistently in a disgraceful manner. So communities, the governor of Plateau State once said, I remember he said that 64 communities in Plateau were under the captivity of the ones they call bandits these days. How do you describe that? We have soldiers, we have the resources, they have the budgets every year, annual budgets. So, and anytime we want to solve the problem, somebody comes in the city, religion, these are dumb things now. When you don't describe it, maybe it takes a foreign country to tell us what we are. We're a disgraceful country. Because we can't do simple things that other nations do. That's my opinion.
Chuka,
Yes.
let me come to you. When Trump described us as disgraced country, how do you see that?
I think the man was just blunt, and he called a spade a spade. Nigeria, if we say, he said disgraced country. In a number of ways, we have disgraced ourselves. Perhaps not only at even the leadership level, even as followers. Take, for instance, the one that actually can fit us into that description is in Katsina. It was reported that government officials and bandits were sitting in a meeting and discussing how to bring about peace in that community that is just overrun by bandits. Then you know that these people are people that the state should be looking out for, to arrest them and do whatever they can with them. Rather than do that, government was sitting in a meeting and negotiating how much do we give you so that you don't kill our people again. And it is the duty of government to protect lives and property. No matter how small anybody is, government has that duty to protect the life of that person. In this country, the only people that matter, whose lives matter to the government, are the lives of government officials, lives of privileged people. So, and you remember that when a number of people were killed in Benue State, the one that raised global uproar, the president of the country didn't go until maybe after 3 or 4 days. And when he went there was a fanfare. He was received like a hero. And rather than even talking in a tough way, taking tough actions, he went there and shifted the action of whatever should be done to the people. So these are aspects of failure of government. And they are enough to let anybody say that the country is disgraced, because it disgraced our people with our actions, with our utterances. Then let's just take a step back to when we had a military ruler as a civilian president. That was Buhari. People had expected that when Buhari stepped into power, the next thing he was going to do was to decimate these bandit terrorists or whatever name you call them. But he was there for 80 years. An army general. And he could not kill, there was no report of any one bandit that was killed during his tenure. And then this other one has now come, and the same story is still being happened. Let us forget even security and come to our political life. Look at what the governors are doing. Everybody is all moving towards one direction as if there's nothing again anybody can do. But don't forget that the present president was a major opposition and never defected to anywhere. Now that he's the president and he wants everybody to come and join him. Why is every governor going to one party? Every governor. You hear somebody talking about the party in power, talking very bad about the power. Tomorrow, the same person will just come again and say this. So, if Trump said we're a disgraced country, I think if that discussion fits us very well.
Remember that in the last administration, I really hit the Boko Haram and the so-called bandits who are terrorists. The last president, the late president, the late one man the last Afghanistan. Up below history. Google it and see what it means. $1 million at the height of foreign exchange scarcity. Is that not a disgraceful act? So, sometimes when you look at over time,
as a country,
and not just a particular way, he was not referring to swag, he was referring to so many things that he has said over time about Nigeria. So it was only acting on information.
Okay, Odinaka, let me come back to you again. We've seen the threats by Trump, already beginning to have some economic implication, in the country, and we've seen the, So what do you think? We really don't pray this, goes beyond what is now. But what further economic implication do you think this could have on the economy?
There are several implications, economic implications, and political implications, and all that. But let me look at today. Yesterday we reported, slump in some Nigerian assets, whether it's Naira, basically Nigerian assets, Naira, Eurobonds, stock market, and the rest. And today, again, they are particularly in stock market slump today, and the Naira too is neither here nor there. So that's what's one aspect of the implications we're talking about. But another one is the fact that Nigeria will no longer, I doubt if Nigeria can secure, warships for America or, the weapons needed to fight Boko Haram now. Because before Trump said it in public, his ministers and officials of that government must have blacklisted Nigeria because we're already in control of special concern. Particular concern. So it's very difficult for Nigeria to now buy arms and ammunition from the United States. That I'm sure. So another thing is the fact that if I'm a foreign investor now, and your countries, and somebody designates your country as a country of particular concern, I'm going to dump your assets. In fact, if I have your portfolio, I will dump it and look for another, because people may not understand the implications of those pronouncements. If I want to invest in my village now, and the governor of the state, let's say, for whatever reason, somebody tells you that particular village have people in that, there are people in that village who are murderers, who are killers, and you are an investor, want to set up a hospital in that particular community, will you go into that community? You will be afraid of your life. That's exactly the way it works in economics. So if you make pronouncements like, this country is killing Christians, so the implication is that there is no fairness in that country. The implication is that there is risk in that country. because there can be war at any time. There can be crisis in that country. And I don't want to lose my money. I want to set up a hospital in that community. This is essentially how investors think. They look at the risk factors, they look at return on how will they be able to take their money they invest. So once you create an uncertainty in a market, because market works in sentiments, it's about sentiments. Mm-hmm. Once you create an uncertainty in a particular market, which Trump has already done, so many things are no longer going to be the same. If this is not managed properly, all these reforms that this government has been trumpeting will turn upside down. Mm-hmm. Because it's already beginning to happen. Nobody knows when it will end. Yes, people have said it's not going to be permanent, but it also depends on Trump and Nigerian government. Because imagine if Trump comes on Wednesday again and then goes and posts something else around Nigeria, it's a done deal. Mm-hmm. So, and then you cannot predict Trump, who is flippant. You can say anything at any time and do anything at any time. So, once...
Okay, Chuka, some people have said, look, Trump don't pretend to love Nigerians, and particularly Nigerian Christians. That there could be some undertone. That just using, the killing of Christian allegedly, as just to front it. There could be some other. Don't forget the fact that he had asked Nigeria to accept the people he was going to deport from the United States, and Nigeria said no, we can't do that. Look, do you see beyond this, killing of a Christian in Nigeria? Do you think that there could be some other thing that Trump has, consider?
Well, it's difficult to say this, whether yes or no, but since this pronouncement by Trump, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things. Some people say that maybe there's more to it than just the killing of Christians. Some people look at the economic interest that America may have in Nigeria. And especially particularly oil, because they refer to what he did in Venezuela and one other oil state like that. Maybe Nigeria is the next one. But whatever is the case, I think whatever anybody may think about what Trump said, it defines Nigeria perfectly. Because the man is not talking from, a lot of people have been afraid to say what Trump said. Not that people don't know that people don't know what is happening here or don't see what is happening here.
It's just that people don't want to.
People don't just want to say, oh, I'm the one who said it. But because Trump is an international watchdog or somebody who sees himself as an international policeman, he can come and talk, he can talk anyhow and get away with it. Perhaps if it were a Ghanaian president that said this, everywhere would have been boiling now. But look at it, because it is a Trump, everybody is calm. People are now thinking that, there's a fire on the mountain. Because if you don't listen to this man, a lot could happen. And a lot of people know the character or the person of Donald Trump, that he may not be playing with what he's saying. He can just do it and damn the consequence. So perhaps there could be more to it, but it's difficult to establish that. People are just making conjectural statements that, what happened in Venezuela or one other country like that is likely to happen to Nigeria because of economic interest that the country may have, the president of the United States of America may have in Nigeria. So that is just at the level of debate and conjecture.
Thank you. Odinaka, Nigeria surely has a responsibility to avert whatever it is that Trump or the United States can do or may want to do. It's our responsibility as a nation to ensure that whatever it is that Trump may have in mind to do or the United States may have in mind to do does not happen. And so I want to ask you, what do you think at this point we as a nation, as a country, if you were to sit down with the president or the leadership of the nation to say, look, these are the steps to take, to avert whatever could come. What do you think this will be?
First of all, let me start by saying that this current government repeated the mistakes of the past government. When Buhari came, it took time, about 6 months, to appoint ministers. Now, Tinubu has appointed ministers, but he failed to appoint ambassadors. So the first thing the government should do is to appoint an experienced ambassador. This one is not about politics, so don't go and pick a politician from anywhere and then make an ambassador to the United States. Go and pick an experienced,
a
career
diplomat,
and then put him there. In fact, put someone who is possibly a dual citizen, a citizen of America and Nigeria too, because Trump will listen if he's a citizen of that country. So, or maybe if he doesn't listen, those officials of the government will listen that, well, this is one of us. So that's the first thing. The second thing is any relationship with this government.
The United States.
The United States. He has not visited America since Trump became president. It's not compulsory. But what I'm saying is in the context of relationships. So you've seen a lot of some African leaders like South Africa, Ghana, they've met Trump. But Nigeria has not really had.
But when the South African president went there, Trump practically disgraced.
But it doesn't matter. The truth of the matter is that if you look at Ukraine president, the first time he went, he disgraced him. But today, they are more of friends. So, and the same thing is also applicable to the South African president. It wasn't very easy, cordial. They weren't cordial from the outset, but now they are beginning to talk about business. So the government, we have not started that process. So what we can do is to appoint ambassadors who is to establish some level of relationship with the government by, one also mentioned, sending our wise men,
yes,
older men. It's also very important. These are men that are known in the international diplomacy space. Anyoko, Akinyemi, these are old men, experienced and respected. Send them there. But I think there's a need for us to begin to have better relationship with America. We don't have that kind of relationship because Trump, yeah, you cannot predict Trump, but again, if Trump wants a nation he will do business with. So this is something that people are suspecting. It's like Mr. Chuka pointed out, everything is all about speculation. But people are saying that, I don't know whether it is true or not, but part of the speculations is that Tinubu contributed money to support Kamala Harris as a Democratic candidate. So another school of thought says that
those are mere allegations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Speculation.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. So these are just allegations. But you know, there can also be truth in this. When you create that vacuum for speculation, you need people with nothing other than to believe it. So another thing is also the fact that there are other speculations too, but I think they are all in that arena of speculation. But the most important thing is that we need to begin to speak with Americans. There are so many things we will benefit from America, and one of which is AGOA. You know, AGOA has been on, now it has expired. It's Africa. But the truth of the matter is that Nigeria should be one of the biggest
beneficiaries.
You understand? Let's open that window. There are many Nigerians who are in America who are going to help him if he wants to meet Trump. Every time you see, when you begin to see the press releases now and the things that are circulating in the media, the one we just saw, where someone was saying that the president just spoke with Mr. Trump. We address Nigerians. These are not necessary. No, that must be coming from the government circle. But it doesn't make sense. What we need now is to first of all appoint.
Yeah, but later they debunked that data.
No, today.
Okay, again.
Not yesterday, today. So even now, before we started this program, so the first thing is to appoint an experienced ambassador. The second thing is to begin to have some form of relationship with the United States of America. Trump is not predictable.
It's not predictable.
You don't know the next. I'm afraid that the next thing we do, we turn these reforms upside down. I hope he doesn't do them.
Yeah. Okay, okay, Chuka. One other thing that clearly, especially for me, is I have seen this is not good enough. We've seen non-state actors beginning to just say all kinds of things, rather than just look for a very allowing government to, use diplomatic way, to get this, to address this issue. We've seen Shegumi, who, in my view, this is someone that even the Saudi Arabia has not allowed him coming to that country. We've seen someone like Asai Dokubo, ex-militant. We've seen someone like Fani Kayode. These are people that a lot of people just look at it from. Like that. What should this kind of people? I'm not. Yeah, they are respected in their. But then, as far as this government is concerned, they are non-state actors. What do you think government should government rein people like this in and allow that so that this is official communication between Nigeria and the United States, in finding a solution to that? Just people just talking from, different and they're making what looks like inciting statements to say that could further, wasn't this, relationship with Nigeria and the United States.
Thank you so much for that question. But this is not unexpected in a country like Nigeria, where one's leadership doesn't relate very well with the people. They normally look for people like this to enable them achieve what they want to achieve. In a country like Nigeria, you hear non-state actors, as you have just mentioned some of them, saying certain things that ordinarily in a normal run of events, in a normal society, you should not hear. But they say it and get away with it. One of the people we have just mentioned is known to be hobnobbing with the bandits. He goes and discusses. He goes and discusses with them and comes to tell the government what bandits wants done for them. So when such people do those kind of things and get away with them, we can expect that they can just say anything because they know that nothing will happen. Ordinarily, in a sensitive situation like this, government will be the one, selected or approved government officials will be the one talking about this in a very well coordinated manner. In such a, because it was even the president's statement, according to sources, that actually annoyed the United States president, that actually had to say what he said. And then you hear now people who are not even in government talking. This kind of thing is capable of still enraging the man who is already annoyed. So for me, I think these people should be kept where they belong. They shouldn't be talking for the government nor for the country as a whole. But they just come out and say things and nothing happens. By now, such people should be advised or invited by government to say, please, don't help. We don't need we don't need your help in this circumstance. Because they can say certain things that nobody sent them, nobody directed them, and they don't say it the way it can even make things, to bring things to normalcy. They just say because, this is the way I feel about it. So people tell you America doesn't have any right to. Who says that? America won't have right where things are done properly.
No, but I listened. Sorry, I listened to one international diplomat. The man said that in international diplomacy, might is everything.
Might. Yes, but it's true.
So it's a case of where
it's true.
We're a sovereign nation, but might is everything.
Because these powerful nations, powerful nations will just act because they know that.
Does Israel have any right to
if now that the United Nations is weak, it's no longer as
all those things are just existing as I don't know, by name. Because these powerful nations will do things and damn it. And you find that even in Nigeria, such impunity reigns high in this place. We're just talking about impunity. People know that this kind of thing, if you say it, you go against the law, you go against whatever is, but they know that if I do it, then nothing will happen. like what the non-state actors are talking about. They are just driven by impunity.
But again, let me intervene. My opinion is this: don't stop people from talking, and those guys don't claim to be speaking on behalf of government. So we won't close their mouth. Most of them are. I know most of them are. They like those issues. Some of them will tell you that we will fight if it's an opportunity. One of them, I think I saw this tweet. We will fight if it's an. So I don't know what you will fight with. Whether you will fight with his bare hands or fight a rocket is coming to you and you want to fight with bare hands. But these are just mouths.
Yeah,
so
I get, but there's a need to allow.
At the moment, what is more important? What is more important here is who the government listens to. Tinubu is wise. I can give it to him. He cannot be listening to these people you mentioned. He knows the people we will listen to. That's what matters. There are so many things in the public space. But who does the government listen to? That's what matters. So if the government chooses to listen to these people, I mean, I've not, even all of them, three of them, if you look at the way they have been treated with this government, by this government, you notice that the government does not even care about them. I mean, this guy in Nigeria has had cause to even come out and criticize the president because he's sidelining him or his people. So I'm not sure he will be listening to those people. You understand?
It's okay. Thank you, Chuka. Thank you, Odinaka. But just before we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we wrap up with the defection of Governor Diri to the APC. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Welcome back. This is still the Business Day Television Roundtable, where we discuss some key issues, especially current affairs as it is right now in Nigeria. In the last 20-30 minutes or so, we've been discussing the implication of President Trump's threats to Nigeria over the alleged killing of Christians. Well, we just hope that the Nigerian government will be able to, reach out to the United States government and then find a way to bring some kind of solution such that the economy does not suffer. The progress made so far by the Tinubu administration does not suffer setback as a result of what it is that the United States president is talking about. Gentlemen, just before we go, we've seen defection upon defection. We've seen, the last one now is the governor of Bayelsa State, who has also now defected to the APC. We saw the governor of the Delta State the other time. We saw the governor of Akwa Ibom State. And there are more. I mean, from what we are hearing, I mean, even the governor of Taraba State, we also hearing issue. Abu Kefas, we also getting, but it might, also defect before maybe by next or so.
What about Plateau?
And then, of course, gentlemen, where does this lead us as a nation? And I'm saying as a nation, as a democratic nation. It's very clear now that we might be heading the direction of one-party state. I don't know, but again, I mean, as we speak, we have just 8 governors left in the PDP, and this is just 8. Yeah, this is a party that at the time in this country, the biggest party, they used to call themselves the biggest party in Africa. In Africa.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and of course at the time, I think they were even controlling like 28 states or thereabout. Okay.
That's true.
Yeah. During Jonathan in the 2011, I think they controlled like 23 states. Today, PDP has reduced to just 8 states, and like I said, more are likely to leave. Chuka, let me start with you. What is happening to the PDP? This was a party that was in control, that was in control of this nation for 16 years.
I don't think there's anything so special that's happening to that party. What is really happening is that interest, personal interest, is growing by the day. Because some of these people who are governors that are living with their cabinets, with the entire structure of their former party to the opposition, to the
including members of the state House of Assembly,
everybody, is that the people actually following the governors fail to understand or see the bigger picture. These governors are just trying to protect their interests after their term as governors. Because if you look at some of those of them who are on second term, what they are now planning, those in first term are trying to make sure that they retain they come back in second term. Those who are in second term are trying to, after second term, what do I do next? I think the Senate is the next destination.
No, but they will lose their immunity. So people have talked about the possibility of EFCC coming up.
And not only that, they still want to remain relevant. And to remain relevant, you have to stay. You know that majority of people in the Senate are former governors. So for you to even win election as a former governor, you have to align with the ruling party. So most of these governors are not really pursuing the interests of the people or of their states. It's about the self. What becomes of me as a second term governorship aspirant, or what becomes of me as a Senate aspirant, a senator aspirant. So they are really working for themselves and not for the people. So for me, PDP is not suffering anything so special. It's just about the interest of individual who populate that party overrides that of the party.
Okay. Odinaka, as we wrap up, just in a couple of seconds, we've seen these governors moving out of the PDP into APC, and one reason that almost all of them, have cited is that they want to ensure that their states benefits
from the
maximally, by aligning with the center. So I ask you, it doesn't mean that state cannot grow, state cannot do what it is that they have to do, and then develop their state.
So what has the most
without aligning with the center? Because that's all.
That's what I'm asking you now. What has the most state benefited from being a APC?
Interestingly, you are from Imo State.
What has Ogun State benefited from being an APC? All of these things are just noise. They are not. They are only moving there because they feel that President Tinubu is winning them. That's simple. APC is just winning them because they've seen that their house is a crisis. That's simple. There's nothing, and it's not to benefit those states. It's actually their personal political interests. Tell me why Diri, he is concluding his tenure. He's moving to APC because he still wants to be relevant. Having seen that his party has no future, because that party, I always maintain that party is there. Remember the last time we were here, I spoke about one party. Now it's becoming very clear that by 2027, probably, just like Father said, there might be 4 or 5 governors there. And one of them might like Shehu Makinde might try to pick a ticket. And that's just to test run. Because they won't do anything.
And that's if Wike allows him.
That's if Wike allows him. So don't be surprised that Wike might be the presidential candidate.
Yeah, it's
and
very
that will kill the party
it's
off.
Very possible, yeah.
Kill the party off.
It's very possible.
So they have already killed that party.
All right.
And I don't blame Wike. I always say that I don't blame Wike. I blame a party that failed to abide by some of the agreements of their founding fathers. I keep on saying that Atiku Abubakar should never have contested that 2023 election. He should never have contested that election. He's the cause of this crisis. Now he has moved to elsewhere and they are dying.
All right. Thank you, Odinaka. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been a very interesting session discussing with you guys on what it is that Trump has threatened, and of course the defection of the governors of the PDP to the ruling party APC. And we just hope and pray that they will sort themselves out and things can
get
because
better.
at the end of the day, like I've always said, whether you are in the PDP or in the APC, what matters to us, Nigerian, is that wherever you are, I mean, just provide governance. It is good governance that we really want. It doesn't matter where you belong, but though we also actually do know that a one-party system in the democracy is not the best.
It's not the best at all.
It should be opposition that will be able to point out to the ruling party, look, this you are doing is not good. Kind of check. Check. So, well, that's our show today. Until we come again next week, we want to thank you for watching, and we invite you to stay tuned and continue to watch BusinessDay Television. My name is Joshua Bassey.